I'm Britney High reporting for PCTV News. Today we sat down with a few of the executive board members of the NCAA chapter of Providence College. We're here to hear about their recent activities on campus. Okay. I'm here with a few of the exec board members of the NAACP. Can I ask you guys to explain a little bit about the club and the organization, what your objectives are?
We started the Providence chapter of the NAACP first with our president Vidal. He kind of just came to us and asked if anyone would like to be a part of creating it on campus. Apparently, it was a club before, but something happened like along those lines, and it didn't happen. Didn't actually end up continuing. But the NAACP Providence College chapter is kind of here just to the NAACP stands for the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. So it's kind of just to create like a more equal space and fight for certain like rights and things like that pertaining to like people of color. So for that reason, we feel like the NAACP is very like useful on the Providence College campus, being that the diversity is like fairly low. You want to say anything?
Kind of what Traniesha said. It was started again last year, last semester. Vidal went around going for petitions to try and get it approved. And in the spring, he said if anybody was interested in being part of the exec or helping out, to send him an email. And I think we were the three in Alicia who expressed that interest. And kind of what Traniesha said, it's important to have this on campus because, especially at a PWI, a predominantly white institution where diversity is going to be an issue all the time. I think that for students to have this group to go to in those situations, I think that's important and vital to have.
Can you guys talk a little bit about the first demonstration that you guys held on campus and what was it about and what was the objectives you guys had about that?
If any of you viewers are aware of what went on at the University of Missouri with their students of color, creating a movement that spread throughout the nation. So us at PC, students of color, decided to organize this protest, not really a protest, a demonstration, as a way to stand in solidarity, to say, we hear your cries and we support you. And that's what we were saying. And it also happens, and there's students of colors on Providence College campus do feel marginalized. So it's not only that we support the students in Missouri, but all students of color on all college campuses, but not just that, but all people who feel marginalized in institutions where they should be treated equally. Mm-hmm. And so that's what our demonstration was for. And it was a peaceful protest and peaceful demonstration. And that's why Father Shanley was able to get behind it because, well, he can't, if we were being all loud and reckless, he can't really get behind that. So that was our intention, a peaceful demonstration to support those students and let the students at PC here know that they are supported as well.
So I know that shortly after that, even like a few days later, you guys had a second protest or second demonstration. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what exactly led to that?
So after the demonstration that we had where Father Shanley and other members of his cabinet were there were some racial epithets screamed outside of dorm rooms, specifically McDermott. And I think that after witnessing that, I think there had to be a response from the president almost immediately. And we felt as though that since there wasn't an immediate response, it took, I think, 9 days for him to respond. But I think that once it hit that 7-day mark, it was necessary for us to kind of force the silence to be broken. And that was kind of the objective of that demonstration. We started a hashtag PC Break the Silence. And if you saw maybe the article in the Providence Journal, there was students with tape over their mouths with that hashtag on it. So I think that demonstration was very symbolic and very powerful, as I think we had almost 100 students that packed into Father Shanley's office. And I think that right there is what the NAACP is about, and that is what we are able to give the students, to give them that platform to be able to voice their opinion to the people that need to hear it and the people that can make the change.
So with that being said, do you feel as though the demonstrations were successful?
I think that they were successful in that we did get something accomplished right then and there. Not many people may know this, but there are meetings that happen with like all of cabinet and Father Shanley, everyone like the board of trustees, all that stuff, and generally they discuss things that concern the students and like the student population. And since there had been the issue with the protest before the peaceful demonstration, and there being no response, they were planning to discuss it, and they were planning to like kind of have a plan of action. But what we pointed out at this demonstration in his office was that you guys can talk about it and you guys can have all these ideas, but there's no one representing the marginalized students in these meetings. So we requested that Dr. Jay-Z, she's the chair for the Black Studies Department, and maybe some other students who are heading this issue on campus be present at this meeting, because if you're going to discuss things concerning the marginalized students, you should have representatives of these marginalized students, like ones that we can actually say are representatives of us, because obviously Father Shanley is a representative of all the students at school, all the faculty, staff, everyone, but you cannot like represent, like, you know, because you're not part of this group. So it was one of those things that we got declared right then and there by Father Sicard. Unfortunately, Father Shanley wasn't there, which in that sense I think was a setback, because he needed to hear it just as well as Father Sicard. And it's like Father Sicard can go back and tell him this is what they said, but if you didn't hear it firsthand, you didn't experience it firsthand, you didn't feel it. So for that reason, I feel like it was successful in that we also have been having a lot of meetings, like people requesting to talk to us and us presenting like our demands and stuff like that over and over again. So I feel like we're making waves, but we're making ripples, and we're trying to make them into waves. So
I will say that we weren't really expecting much of a turnout during the first demonstration. It was at midnight. It was on a Thursday night, so you know it was a weeknight. So people had classes, and it was raining, and it was cold, and it was dark, and it was really good for I think everyone involved really to see that there were over 150 people there. You know, we printed out flyers and we had to go and print out more, and we were like, wow, guys, like this is really happening. And so for the students of colors and our allies to be able to see that you have this many people there to support you that are, you know, just as passionate about these issues as you are, I think in that sense it was, yes, definitely successful. Definitely something that needed to happen. I think that the second demonstration, once again, the numbers blew my mind. It was great. And the fact that it was able to happen on this campus, I think is, you know, speaks within itself that, you know, we've made progress. The fact that the first demonstration ended in Father Shanley's backyard, which has never happened on this campus, goes to show that, you know, progress is being made. But the fact that it took 10 days for a response to happen, the fact that students are still feeling marginalized, the fact that when we state our demands and, you know, make our public forums for our students of color to voice their opinions, we get tons of backlash and tons of responses of that just show that there are still there's still a few ignorant minds that think it's okay to voice their opinion and not have any, you know, rebuttals to what they have to say. I still feel like a few of the 150 people that were there were a lot of the faces that I've been seeing. And so the progress that we're trying to make, it feels like a lot, but you can only say how effective it is as you feel it. And as much as, like, you know, going to these meetings are great and meeting with all these people, and, you know, tomorrow we're gonna go speak at the Faculty Senate, which is great, to try and, you know, have our demands met. It's all behind the scenes kind of stuff. And I know it takes a while for these steps to happen, but I don't know. Success there's nothing to show for the success, is what I'm saying. I can say success is a tricky word, I guess. That might be it. I don't know. I want to feel like what we're doing here is making a difference, and I want to feel like, you know, all of this meeting and all of these interviews and all of these, you know, demands that we stay up hours to write, that they make a difference. And it's kind of disheartening for me to not see a difference, for me to still hear people say that it's not an issue, for people not to make these things a legitimate part of things that need to change at PC, for us to still hear, let's talk about it. Well, for us to have to make it something that people want to talk about. I feel like we've done that enough. I feel like I want to see step 2 and it's not happening yet. And so that's why I can't say that success is, maybe this is probably not the word I would use to describe. I would say steps, I would say progress. I would not say success, because success implies an end game that we have arrived. And I feel like we're just getting started. I feel like we're here, and you should expect more, because there's still a long way to go.
Well, thank you guys for coming. I'm Britney High for PCTV News. Back to you.